So good evening. My name is Simon. I'm head of music at QE, and this is my colleague Steve, who also teaches music with me. Together we are the music department, at least as far as A-level music goes. So what I'm going to do is I'll give you a bit of spiel about the course, what you study, how it's assessed. If you have any comments or have any questions, hold off until I finish speaking and Steve's finished, and then put in the chat and we will respond to whatever queries you may have. So in terms of the music, if you do GCSE music, you'll be familiar of the three main areas: composition, performance, and a written paper. For the composition, over the period of 2 years, you need to do 2 compositions, total duration 4.5 minutes, a minimum. One of those is a composition of your own choice. The second one is done on a brief set by the exam board. They send out about a dozen briefs in the second year of your studies in September, and you choose one of those. Okay. Then you have the performance element. Steve will talk a bit more about in a second, but for that you have to do 10 minutes of recording, and that is then sent to the exam board to mark. And the final bit that I'm sort of mainly involved with is a written paper. For that, you do a variety of questions. Some you listen to music you haven't heard before, but might have heard works similar to it that you have to discuss intelligently. You also have to look at scores of some of the works we studied and be able to read the scores and say what's going on. And then there's an essay question as well. So for those, we studied the Baroque Concerto, looking at works by Purcell, Vivaldi, and Bach. We study Mozart's Marriage of Figaro, looking at the first act. And we study romantic piano music, looking at music by Brahms, Chopin, and Grieg. The second strand we do music theatre. So you will study works by Richard Rodgers, such as Oklahoma. You will study Stephen Sondheim, his a musical Sweeney Todd, and you study Les Miserables by Schoenberg. And then the third strand that you do in the second year is pop music, when we look at works by Stevie Wonder, Beyonce, Daft Punk, Labyrinth, Joni Mitchell, etc. So that in a nutshell is the course. I'll pass to my colleague Steve, he'll tell you a bit more about the performance side.
Okay, yep. Performance side includes all instruments, including voice. There's no distinct advantage for one instrument over another. You need to record in your second year of study a program of not less than 10 minutes worth of music. It needs to have a variety of styles. So it's no good if, say, you're a trumpet player just doing jazz trumpet, or just doing Baroque trumpet, or just doing classical trumpet. If you do a variety of styles, then you're going to access much higher marks as a result. There's no need to play an ensemble or to play a second instrument, as perhaps some GCSEs or other A-levels might require. So it's one instrument, all as soloists, with accompaniment. You can use backing tracks where necessary, particularly for guitarists and drummers and bass players. They tend to use the pre-programmed backing tracks to play alongside them because that's more appropriate. If you can work with the piano accompanist as well, that's also a great advantage. If you're a pianist, you probably won't use an accompanist at all because you are a solo instrument as you are. Okay. As far as the difficulty level is concerned, we are looking at around about a minimum of grade 5 standard performance. Now you can go more difficult than that. We don't necessarily advise it. The way the mark scheme works, there's no real advantage into playing something hard, not quite so well, whereas you can play something a little bit easier really well. You're going to gain more marks by doing that particular route. If, of course, you're working on, say, a grade 6 or grade 7 set of pieces with your instrumental teachers, then if they're really up to standard and really hot, then that could be a good option for you. As well as the performance part of the A-level, there are lots of opportunities for you to be involved in performance in the college, provided we're not in some sort of weird pandemic lockdown or something. We have 5 different ensembles, in fact. We have some run by Simon, which include the orchestra, which is available to players of any instrument, as long as you can read music. Simon also runs the Baroque Ensemble, which is for orchestral string players. I run the big band, which is for players of saxophone, trumpet, trombone, piano, bass, drums, and guitar. Again, you'll need to read music to be able to take part in that. We have 2 choirs as well. Simon runs the classical choir. By classical, it can be anything that's basically not pop and jazz. I think that's fairly safe to say. I run the pop choir, which is everything that's pop and jazz. We take part in a couple of concerts, at least in college, every year, and also get invited to do other performances as well. For example, the big band do take part in the Great North Big Band Jazz Festival, which is now at Chester Street. We also get invited to do other things. The classical choir often gets to sing for various charities at places like the entrance to Sainsbury's. It's pure glamour. What can I say? So there's some opportunities. And also, there is something else that you can take part in, which I'm sure Simon will tell you about in a moment, if you take part in those ensembles. Simon, do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, what we try and do most years is run a tour abroad. So in recent years, we've done tours to Holland, when we gave 3 concerts in 3 countries. So we gave 1 concert in Holland itself, 1 concert in Germany, and 1 concert in Belgium. More recently, we did a tour to Tuscany. So we went to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa, even climbed up as well, which is quite an experience, walking up a tower that sort of leans. We gave 2 concerts in Florence, and we gave a concert in Siena. Unfortunately, our tour this year had to be cancelled, but we're sort of looking at the possibility of one in 2022, looking to go to a 2-stop tour going across to Berlin and then Krakow. So that is a possibility if you start at QE this coming September.
And they're really good fun. It's a really good way to get to know people even more. It's not just work, work, work. We do have plenty of leisure time. We've done bowling in the past, we've been swimming, we've been down salt mines, we've done all sorts of stuff. So it's a really good life experience thing as well. I know people that have been on the previous tours who still talk about them now. So it's a really nice thing to do.
So I think that's about it from us in terms of our spiel. So do you have any questions? You just put them in the chat, please.
Otherwise, Simon, you're going to have to show them your Secret Santa present.
But you have to do your singing song and dance routine, Steve.
I would, but I've got a bone in my leg.
All quiet.
They could be typing away frantically.
One thing I would say about the music department at QE, it's quite a small community, but actually we're really close to each other and all friends and all get on really well. So it's really quite a nice vibe. So everyone in the orchestra knows each other, looks out for each other. Same in the pop and classical choir.
Also, in the music classroom, we do have a suite of computers. So everybody gets their own individual computer in the class. And we do use Sibelius for compositions and other bits and pieces as well. So we've got a good kit for you as well. Rehearsals for the ensembles, some take part during the day as part of your timetable. So when we come to sign you up to come to QE, whoever's signing you up will ask you if you're interested in any of the ensembles. And if you just say, yeah, well, I'm interested in the orchestra or the big band or whatever, they'll do their best to make sure that you don't have a timetable lesson when we have a big band or orchestra or Baroque ensemble rehearsal. If you're interested in singing in the choirs, they actually take part on a lunchtime, so there's no problem there. At the moment, classical choir would normally be on a Monday and pop choir on a Friday.
One thing I'd add to that is we have a grade 5 theory class that runs on Tuesday that Steve takes as well. So if you're coming to QE and you haven't done GCSE music, or your theory is perhaps not where you'd like it to be, then we suggest you attend that class. If you've already got your grade 5 theory and you fancy doing a bit more higher level, like grade 6, 7 or 8 theory, then you can come along as well. And of course, that counts towards UCAS points to help you get in the university of your choice.
And particularly if any of you are interested in pursuing music at university or a conservatoire or somewhere like that, a lot of universities will ask for grade 5 theory on top of your academic studies and practical grades. So if you don't have grade 5 theory, it's easily achievable and will supplement what you do in the A-level studies, and it's no more difficult than the A-level. So it's well worth doing that. We've had, many successful candidates over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where we sent students to. We had students, lots of students go to Leeds, haven't we? The College of Music there, now the Conservatoire.
Yeah, it's now the Leeds Conservatoire, which has changed its name, had a rebrand.
I've had students go to LIPA in Liverpool, Cambridge, Oxford, York, St John, Newcastle, Northumbria. Where else?
Some students have gone to BIM, which is the British Institute of Modern Music, for the more pop music style, particularly for those of you that are looking at maybe music and pop music. There's 2 courses. You can do both courses, incidentally, and we do have several students that do both, and there's very little crossover between the 2 subjects, so they're very much both meaningful.
We've had other students go to Durham University. We had one student go to Liverpool. We've had students go to King's College in London.
Hull
as well, yes, of course. If you want to study music at degree level, then A-level is what prepares you for that. But likewise, a lot of students do music because they have an interest to it. Maybe don't want to do it at university. They might have chosen to do, maths and science, and think, oh, what I'd like to do my third subject, let's do music instead. Because it's very different in how it's taught and how you prepare for it. Because a lot of it is like 35% of your performance is, the assessment is performance. And a lot of you as musicians will perform anyway. The composition is 25% your final mark, and then 40% for the written paper.
Class sizes tend to be around the kind of 10-ish mark, something either side of that, depending on, the year group. We have 11 in the second year this year.
Yep.
Is it, how many
8.
in the first year, Simon?
8 in the first years.
It's 8, yeah. And amongst those students, we have, see if I can remember all the instruments, Simon. So we have trumpet, trombone, viola, saxophone, guitar, drums. We have singers. So a wide variety. Do you have any pianists in the first year, Simon?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
No. No.
I remember quite a few years ago, we had someone whose first instrument was bagpipes.
We've had a few organists as well, haven't we?
A few organists, yes.
Yes. We've got a nice pipe organ in the hall. If you want to come and play that, if you want to do the organ, can do.
Been told it's quite a decent instrument, actually.
It would be if it was tuned and maintained. It's up to you. We can do, if no one's got any questions for us, just give me 1 more minute. If anyone's got any questions for us, please put it in now. If we don't, we'll sort of end the meeting there. If you have any questions for us later on, something comes to your mind this evening or tomorrow or next week, please drop us an email. My email is sfleming, one word, @qlis.ac.uk.
Well, I'm sure if you just email the general inquiry line, it will get sent on to one of us, yeah.
What I'll type it.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, there's the general QE line.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, someone put the hands up there. Okay, no more questions. I think we'll call it a night. So thank you for coming, and I hope that you found quite informative being here. So hope to see you in September.
Good luck.
Bye.